Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to another Pokemon Go video. And in this one, we are actually going to be taking a look at how your Kingdom Cup matches can go horribly, horribly wrong. So I'm making this funny little video here about how your Kingdom Cup matches can just not go the way you plan them. So we have a few battles here. Um, we have a few battles here with a couple of trainers. Um, two trainers to be exact. We just did a series of 8 with one trainer, and then a series of 7 with another trainer. And yeah, let's just play these clips and you guys will see. So initially, this video is actually going to be a Power of Altaria video because I was using Altaria in these clips, but you guys will see how my matches went horribly, horribly wrong. So anyways, we open up Altaria versus Altaria in match number 1. This is a fine matchup. It's a mirror match. So whoever gets priority pretty much wins this matchup there. They shield the Sky Attack, so I shield their Sky Attack. We continue to spam and Dragon Breath with each other. I don't block their Sky Attack, so I give up the switch advantage, but I do bring in Lucario to gain some energy for whatever's coming in from their end. And it turns out to be another Lucario, so I use my Power Up Punch. They do shield, so that's good. They're down both shields, and we have a Lapras left, so we do have to block this Power Up Punch. And we are able to squeeze out that win. And they have Bastion on the back, so this is really bad for us. We're not going to win this battle here, so yeah, that Bastion on the back really screwed us there, and yeah, but the whole terrible thing about this video is just I'm sure you guys will notice it within the first like 10 to 15 minutes of the video. So here we go, going into match number 2 of these practice battles, and I'm trying to get some use out of Valteria, but later on in the video you guys will see I'm either not using it right. Tell me in the comments down below how I'm supposed to use Altaria in this cup, or I'm just getting very unlucky. But anyways, we do have a good opening lead here against Lucario. Probably one of the only positive leads in this series of clips. Um, so yeah, I do block that first power up punch, but they got me with that Shadow Ball there, so that was a smart bait from them to get rid of my one shield. They bring in Charizard. I have my Lucario out with power up punch going off here. They don't block, so that's some nice little chip damage. But then we have Steelix way in the back. So we do end up killing this Charizard and gaining some energy for whatever he has left, and it is Bastiodon. So we fire off this Earthquake, they block it, that's pretty average, and then they're actually able to get off a Flamethrower right before I can get off an Earthquake, but I do get off the Earthquake, and look at that, Bastiodon is still alive. So I thought for sure that Earthquake would have KO'd Bastiodon, but it is what it is. That's one of the only scenarios where Steelix will lose to Bastiodon. Because that Steelix was already pretty low, and hell, it even tanked the flamethrower there. But our earthquake just was not enough damage, I guess. So going in this next one, we lead Lucario, um, and they lead Altaria. So this is a really bad matchup for us, but we're gonna stay in it here for a little bit, um, just to try to take away as much health as that from the Altaria as we can. But we don't block that Sky Attack, so we give up our Lucario there, and then we come in here with Steelix. We don't block that Sky Attack either. So we can get off our crunch here. They don't block, smart, and we take it out with the Dragon Tails. And then their next Pokemon is Lucario here. So yeah, another terrible matchup for us. We let our Lucario faint. Altaria is gonna have to do a lot of work here, and we're praying that there's not a Bastiodon in the back. So yeah, I didn't realize how much these counters would actually start doing to me. But then as I'm doing my Dragon Breath, I'm looking at my health and I'm like, wow, I'm super low. These counters are really doing a ton of damage. And they still have their shields, so they block those. Um, and yeah, my Altaria is barely even able to take out a win. And then, of course, their last Pokemon is Charizard, so we get a favorable end, but we just didn't have enough HP left. Um, that opening matchup really kind of screwed us over there. And then in this next one, we go try to lead again with the Altaria, and this time we put in Charizard because we know they like to run Lucario, obviously. And another terrible opening matchup, we have Altaria versus Steelix. So, yeah, guys, no matter how well you prepare or train, um, this cup is heavily rock, paper, scissors based. So, no matter how hard you practice, you may just lose fights because of the opening matchups, and that's okay. Um, I'm trying not to put so much like emphasis on losing and more of, well, you couldn't like control what they're gonna open with, so you can't really like tell yourself, oh, I didn't do something well there, or they just played better, when really they just got lucky with the opening matchup. And like in this situation, we end up Charizard versus Bastiodon. So number one, we have a terrible opening matchup, Steelix against Altaria, and then we have a terrible ending matchup, Charizard versus Bastiodon. I'm not really paying too much attention to my team balance here, so maybe that's one of the reasons why these battles are going so terribly. But a lot of them are coming down to the opening matchups. So we actually get an even one here, Lucario v Lucario. I shield that. I want to get a switch advantage. I use my power punch, and they shield as well. So we both tie here, and you guys will see what happens. This is super unlucky. I bring out Altaria, they bring out the Bastiodon, so I have to switch immediately into Blaziken, and then they have a Charizard to counter me. So at this point, I'm absolutely screwed. Um, that's just like the luck of the draw there. There's really nothing else I could do. I was like, there's no way they're gonna bring in Bastiodon, but they did. Yeah, they fooled me. Yeah, I was really gonna bring out Blaziken. To be honest, I really wanted to, but I was too scared of like an Altaria, and then they end up bringing in Bastiodon, so I don't really know. And yeah, you guys will know here, Altaria gets completely walled by Bastiodon, and that's a GG. So we haven't won a single game yet this far in the series, and yeah, we're getting kind of screwed with the opening matchups, and this is why I'm making this video. And that is to tell you guys that even if you don't win your cups, you shouldn't feel bad because a lot of the times you might end up losing just due to the opening matchups. This cup is heavily favored towards them. Um, and if you have a counter to 3 other Pokemon in your lineup, once your lead goes out, then your team is super unbalanced after that. So it can be exploited easily. But there's nothing you can do. It's out of your control, really. Unless you make a good guess. But yeah. Also, in these matchups, I wanted to say I don't see their team beforehand. So yeah, that's that. But anyways, in that one, I think we had a terrible matchup again against Charizard. And now we have another bad matchup against Steelix, but we bring in our Charizard, block the crunch there. They switch into Lapras. They finally use Lapras when I switch into a Charizard, so it is what it is. Yeah, they just have a complete counter to my team, so there's nothing I can really do better here. It seems to me like Altaria isn't my Pokemon for this cup. I don't know. I haven't really used Altaria much at all in anything in Great League. I know how good it is, but I don't. I just don't play well with it. I don't know. I also don't like using it because of how overpowered it is with like the Dragon Breath and with just how tanky it is. Like it can almost beat out a Steelix. That should not be a thing in my opinion. Um, Altaria should never be able to beat a Steelix in any scenarios, but it can somehow nearly take it out with 2 shields apiece. So anyways, this one we lead Melmetal for once, and they lead Lucario. So another example of how my matchups can go horribly wrong. And then they have a Bastion even to counter my Altaria when I switch in. So yeah, we're just gonna get hard countered here, guys. My Altaria, which is my Lucario counter, is gonna go down to this Bastiodon. My Melmetal is going to get beat by Bastiodon, so all I have really is Steelix, and they still have that Lucario. So I'm absolutely screwed here. Um, yeah, during these battles, I was swearing pretty hard, guys. I was raging. I was getting a little salty because I could not win an opening matchup against this person. But it happens sometimes, and yeah, here I try to make a clever switch into Melmetal to try to get off a quick Rock Slide before they switch out, but they switch into Lucario. But either way, I was screwed. They just had a complete counter on my team. They had Lucario to counter my steel types. They had Charizard to counter my steel types, and they had Bastardon to counter um my Altaria. So in this one, sorry if you guys can hear my brother in the background. He's 5, and you know how like, kids are. They get hyper and scream a lot. But anyways, in this next one, what was that? I think we led with Lucario, yeah, and they opened Steelix. So there we go. Here's a good matchup. And they switch into Lucario, so I switch into Altaria instantly. And we try to take out this Lucario here with Dragon Breaths. And yeah, here comes a Shadow Ball. That's gonna hurt a lot. Uh, they baited me really well again with the shields. And here comes Steelix back in here, but we have Lucario for this. So here we go, firing out power punches. Counters are doing massive damage. And here comes another Crunch. And yeah, we're in a good spot here finally. And their last Pokemon is Bastiodon. So look at that. We get 2 positive matchups here. And we're going to take this game. Finally, we get a win here against this opponent. And as you guys can see, I had a favorable matchup there. And the outcome was completely different from the last like 7 we played. So yeah, that really shows you how rock paper scissors based this cup is. Um, yeah, that's the end of the battles with them there. As you can see, I went 1-7 against this person, so that's really tough for me. Yeah, that's a big yikes. That's a big yikes for me, dog. But yeah, the battles do not end here, guys. So I'll talk to you in the next battles. All right, here we go, guys, against our next opponent. Um, you guys have probably seen him in like several other videos. We pretty much battle against the same people every video in different order, obviously. But yeah, there's a variety of different teams I get to try my squads against. And against this person, we actually play a lot better. So those first like 8 battles were really a showcase of how your your tournament can go very wrong. Even though that's not tournament play, that was practice, and I didn't see their teams. But regardless, no matter how well you try to read them, you could always just end up on the back foot because of opening matchups. So just really try to stay focused and don't let that like discourage you. It does kind of suck though that it's all like a guessing game at this point to who gets the huge like lead in the match, but it is what it is. So yeah, here we got a mind game going on. I try to hit him with the crunch here. They don't shield, so that's smart by them. But our Steelix is gonna eat that earthquake to the face, and we have Altaria left, and they have Bastiodon. So yeah, I'm gonna stop using Altaria as a closer, guys, because this just is not working for me. Um, yeah, I just basically gave up there. I didn't even bother using my charge attacks because I knew the game was over. But yeah, I was getting pretty frustrated during these battles because Altaria just kept getting matched up against Bastiodon in the end. I just wanted one favorable matchup, but I wasn't able to get it. But this one, we lead Charizard, they lead Lapras here. So I do switch out to Lucario. We get off that power up punch. Sorry you guys could hear that background noise again. That's so annoying. But yeah, they bring in Lucario, we take that out. They bring in Steelix, and their team seems to be really weak to Lucario. So here we bring in Charizard to finish off the Steelix right after this Crunch or Earthquake. Um, and we're gaining a whole ton of energy here, and their last Pokemon is that Lapras, so we're going to Shield Burn with a Blast Burn, and then we're going to hit him with one more Blast Burn to take the win there. So, I mean, in the Kingdom Cup, there is a possibility for you to come back from a bad opening lead, but it's completely dependent on your lineup versus their lineup, and who has more counters to who. So it really comes down to like lineup composition and leads. So here in this one, we have Charizard versus Altaria, another awful matchup for us. We do get off the Dragon Claw though. and they don't shield, so we do shield that because we want to get this Altaria as low as possible. But then they shield the next Dragon Claw and they take us out with Dragon Breaths. So here we come in with Altaria. They switch into Bastion, so we got their Bastion locked and loaded for ready for our Lucario to come in and sweep it. It does have a flamethrower already, so we do have to block that. But we're just gaining energy and farming that Bastion. And here comes a Lucario, so we hit it with the Shadow Ball, sweep that real quick. And we almost had the entire team sweep with Lucario there. It was close. They had a Dragon Pulse ready, but our Altaria can finish that off with just Dragon Breath and a Sky Attack. So here we go in the next battle. We open with Altaria. They open with Altaria, so that's fine. They do get the turn advantage here. I decide not to block that. They decide to block this. So yeah, that was a pretty weird choice by them, but it was good because the rest of my team is pretty weak to Altaria. But we are trying to ramp up our Lucario here, which is why I switched into it. You guys are probably thinking, oh, why do that? But it was because I wanted to ramp it up. But it gets knocked out by Lucario anyways. But here we actually have a pretty good matchup with Charizard. We have Alolan Marowak with Rock Smash, it looks like. And they have no shield, so we're just going to run through that. And then here comes their Lucario, unshielded. And that Lucario is dead. It's a dead one, guys. As Battle Hero would say. But yeah, since I'm not running Bastion, that's probably why I'm not having much luck with Altaria. Because, you know, Altaria counters the Bastion counters, aka Lucario, Blaziken. But I don't have a Bastion to wall my own Altaria, so yeah. But this one we open Steelix versus Altaria, so we get a pretty positive matchup there. I mean, not pretty positive, but it's a decent matchup. They make a quick switch into Lapras, so we switch here into Lucario. We have to block that Surf because, as you guys know, Surf will chunk Lucario hard. And I can't afford to take that water gun damage after that. We do have to block both Surfs though, but they bring in the Altaria and they can somehow get the turn advantage there. I'm not sure how. But anyways, they bring in Altaria against Steelix and it's able to finish off the Steelix. Our last Pokemon is Altaria and their last Pokemon is Bastion once again. So yeah, man. If only. Yeah, Bastion's really good to run on the back, I guess. I just don't have one, so it's a little kind of unfortunate. But yeah. I had Lucario and Steelix for the pure purpose to counter Bastion, but it got taken out by an Altaria, so yeah, that's how that works out. Yeah, this video was just trying to be like a funny um a funny video to help you guys not feel bad even if you lose your tournament or even if you place bad. It can all just come down to opening matchups, guys, so try not to stress it too much. I did, but in the end, I probably could have just went in with random leads and done either just as well or lost the match, but who knows? Who really knows? But anyways, we have a Lapras versus Bastion lead, and their Bastion I noticed has no Stone Edge, so this is a lot more favorable for Lapras. But it can't take us out there. They switch into Lucario, so I make a fast switch into Charizard. Um, but remember here, guys, they get a free switch out of that, so they're gonna bring in their Bastion on again. But I do have a Blast Burn ready. They burn their last shield, and we're up 2 shields, so this is fantastic for us right now. And their last Pokemon is Steelix, so this is GG for them. We're going to run through the Steelix here. And we still had 1 shield in case of an earthquake there. So I think this is our last match here, maybe? The final match of the video. And let's see what we lead with here. Okay, yeah, we go with the Altaria lead once again. And they lead with Bastion, so what do you know, guys? Bastion is a really bad lead. It won't work out a lot of the time, but it worked out against us because we got walled. And here comes our Bastion counter, which is now getting countered by Altaria. So this is what I'm talking about. It's like a domino effect. Once you have one thing get countered, you switch into another thing, and that thing gets countered. So just watch out for that, guys. You know, if you get if you have someone who leads with Bastion, try to lead with like Blaziken or something or Lucario. But yeah, here we have Altaria versus Lapras. Not super favorable for us. They're gonna get off an Ice Beam. Actually, no, they're not gonna get off an Ice Beam, so we got a little lucky. And you know, here our switch clock is slowly going down. Um, and yeah, they're just gonna farm energy and charge up moves. And here we have a little bit of lag, but I was literally spamming Earthquake, guys, when this came out, and it wouldn't let me get off my charge move. So we take an L there. And yeah, I think that's the last match we've played. Yep, that's the last match. Um, and yeah, I'm scrolling through here to see how we did. I beat him. He had 3 wins, I had 4 wins, so if that was a best of 7 format, I think I would have won. But yeah, and yeah, that's the end of the practice battles, guys. I hope you enjoyed those. Hope the background noise wasn't too loud. I do want to invest in a stand-up mic eventually, but I don't know how soon that will be. But if you think I should get one, tell me in the comments below. And yeah, that wraps up this how Kingdom Cup battles can go horribly wrong video. Uh, that's a hilarious title, but I mean it's true. Um, you can't always expect to win your opening matchup, so just watch out for that, guys. And just try to pick against their team. Like try to find your most positive matchups against their squad, like I did in my Kingdom Cup tournament, and just lead with those. So yeah, if you're super weak to something like I don't know, like Charizard, like I was, lead with Lapras, and maybe have a backup. May also lead with Altaria maybe. And let's say you're weak to Lucario, which a lot of teams will be weak to Lucario. Then lead with I don't know, like um, Alolan Marowak, with Rock Smash if you really are feeling bold. Lead with Charizard, lead with Altaria, lead with your own Lucario if you are feeling ballsy. Yeah, just examine their teams and try to find the best matchups and try to win those leads because those leads are super important. As you can see in this video, that first set of battles went extremely wrong. Uh, and yeah. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did. And I'll talk to you guys in the next Kingdom Cup video. Until then, take care, guys.